Hi, I'm Sonia Mkoloma, and I'm the new head coach of the Birmingham Panthers. This is my first season with the club, and this is a new chapter for me working with an NSL team. I've worked with the England Roses as assistant coach. I've worked with the Pathways, the Future Roses. I've taken an under-17s group, and I'm now on my way to Gibraltar to take on the Netball World Youth Cup. For me, coming to NSL, I have a lot of knowledge. I've got loads of experience, both playing and coaching. So I'm excited to make the supporters excited about the vision I have for the club. We have pulled together a young, exciting team with a lot of flair, a lot of character, and a lot of determination. So, I'm supporting them, I back them, and I want them to wow the supporters. The fact that within the West Midlands, the plan is to make it a global multi-sport city. So the fact that Birmingham's headed in that direction, celebrating sport, celebrating women in sport, and celebrating diversity amongst the community to achieve and perform, and they're all coming together, I think for me, that's amazing. And to be a part of something this big and this new, I'm looking forward to how we can go and how we grow moving forward. For me, when you're working with a new squad and players that are coming together for the first time, it's all about culture. It's all about building a culture from the inside out. So when I say a team culture, it's not just about the 10, it's about the coaching staff, it's about the support staff, and then eventually it's about the whole franchise as a whole. What's important about bringing a strong culture together with these players is about that foundation. The foundation and the belief that they want to play for the club. They want the club to succeed. They want to play for each other. Also, they want to put on a show for the fans. So I'm excited to see how we develop and grow in the future. It is a young squad, but for me, it's exciting. I've worked with new squads before, so building those foundations is my first goal. I've watched a lot of the players. I've worked with some of them. So from the front end, the shooters, from New Zealand, we've got Tiana coming across. I've watched Betsy. I've worked with Kira before. And I think between the three of them, they're smart shooters. I think it's important to have a smart front end. Within my mid-court, I've got an engine. So all four mid-courts can offer a bit of diversity in their positional balance, but also they've got engines on them. So I'm excited to see how they connect and also how they connect with the smarts of our shooters. I've got a tenacious defence end. Gabby Coffey's a seasoned player for Birmingham Panthers, so I've watched her over last season, so I've seen what she can do. But actually bringing in Charlie Fiddler and Tammy as young, vibrant defenders is going to only enhance what she does on the court. So, all in all, the tenors are exciting. I'm excited to see what they can do. We kick off in October. So it is about putting down the foundations in the early start of the season in regards to what we do from a cultural point of view. It's all about the inductions, it's getting these players on the same page and making sure we share our visions and goals from both from the staffing point of view, but also what they want to get out of it. I've got to grow them not only as a team, but as individuals, which is important. I think it's all about, let me talk about the culture, but it's about pre-season. I have done and have been a part of many of pre-seasons. The importance of that is not only to push the players to their limits to see where they're at, but also to build their resilience, but connect them as a group and also connect them to the team, the beliefs of the team, the vision, and execute what we need to do and see out there. Listen, pre-season is always tough. We want to make these players faster, stronger, smarter. All right, that's always what it's about, like both on and off the court. So it's about building those connections, seeing combinations that work for us and work for the team and the team's goals, but also them enjoying it. I just want them to enjoy what we're doing. A preseason is hard. There's going to be ups and downs in this space, and that's normal. That's part of the journey. So my job is to get those players out the other end of a preseason, an induction, a new team, and make sure that they're connected and fired to go at the start of the season. What excites me most about working with this new group of players is within this group, we've got some more experience who've played in a cell for a number of years, but we've got young fresh ones. I've got girls that I've taken from a next gen environment where they've had successes and have brought them into a Super League, and it's that transition stage for them. So for me, what is exciting is to see how they gel together, the young and the old, and they're not that old. I know I say old, but it's only a couple of years between them. But actually, how do they gel? How do they work? How do they function? How do they get the best out of each other and build that trust within that group? I'm hoping it's the diversity within the squad. I think what I've been able to select and recruit is a mixture of speed, smarts, and a bit of and stability. And I think that's important across any squad. So, if the supporters come along and they watch and they can see where we've got the speed, where they can see the change of pace, where we can see the smarts and a bit of the flair that we brought into this squad, I think they're going to have a good show and enjoy some of our games. To be honest, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's anybody's game. It's the first game. What they should see though is a tenacious group of players who play for each other, who are playing for the club and playing for obviously the coaching staff and the pride of putting on the Panthers shirt. So what the supporters are gonna see from our club, whether we win, lose or draw, is athletes that are tenacious, that play with determination and commitment, that play for each other. And I think that's important. What we should be is supportive group that are playing for each other and playing for the club. The first fixture, I think when people ask what is the game that I'm looking forward to, I'm actually looking forward to that first game of the season. I think what's important is for me and the coaching staff to see where we're at, to get a gauge of what we need to work on, where we're heading, what we need to do. So for me, it's about how the players turn up that first game, and any other fixture post that is about building and growing, both technically and tactically. I have been able to bring some younger players into our squad, but these are players that I've watched over the years. These are players that have been excelling in the next gen, which just sits below the Super League. These are players that sit in our under 21s England squad. So for me, it's about growth. It's about the longevity of our club. It's about how do we keep and retain players and develop them so that they become the senior players in this space and they keep performing and growing and they keep playing for the Panthers. For me, we are building. We have a young squad, but to me, that's not an excuse. What I want to see is the growth from the players. So the learning, the development. I want to see, we can take on the adaptability within our group because I know moving forward, we've got opportunities and we'll have time to keep growing. So what I want to see from us is that development and growth. If I could sum up our season in a single headline quote, I would say it was a season of growth, grit, and groundwork for the future.